This is the Crush Crowdfunding Podcast, the #1 place for people who want to launch on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. My name is Nalin, and I invite you to join me for tips, hacks, and insights to get you launched and fully funded. Hey everyone, welcome to another session of the Crush Crowdfunding Podcast. I'm really excited to have you here today and to really talk to you about crowdfunding and how you can absolutely crush your goal on Kickstarter and absolutely crush your goal on Indiegogo. I'm super excited to talk about our topic today because I think it's so important. It's something that people often forget to do when it comes to their crowdfunding campaign, and it's something that people often just completely overlook, not even forget, but just overlook because they think it's not important. And that something is market research. And I know that this is not the sexiest topic. Market research, really just saying market research itself is just not a sexy topic, right? It's dry, it's not exciting, it's not enticing, it's not like, ooh, press or ooh, media logos, right? It's market research. But it's so critical and so important to do market research. And I'm going to talk about today why market research is so important and the 4 really core things I look at when it comes to market research. The 4 core things include the positioning, the trends, the pricing, and also the visuals. Those are 4 very key things that I look at when I start any campaign, start any project, start basically anything I do in life. I always start off with market research, and those are the 4 core things I take a look at. Because honestly, if you don't do market research, you don't know what the competitor has. You don't know how you can be better than the competitor, how you can succeed. Let's actually go to a quote, right? Let's go to a quote from Sun Tzu from The Art of War. If you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself, but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. I don't know if you heard the quote before or not. I've heard it a million times actually before I actually associated with market research. But once I associated with market research, just like fireworks, sparks just started going off in my head because it makes so much sense. In The Art of War, he pretty much talks about the different strategies that you can employ in order to beat other people and win in battles. And market research kind of is what will help you win in this battle of putting your product to market and making sure that other people want your product and other people buy your product rather than those of the competitors. It's what will help you make sure that you know the lay of the land and make sure that you're able to strategize so that people spend their funds on your project rather than spend their funds on other people's projects, because that's not what you want. What you want is for people to spend money on your project, because if they do spend on your project, you have a successful launch on crowdfunding. And if they spend on your project when you're in e-commerce or when you're in retail stores, you make more revenue, you make more money, you get more freedom, you attain more time, and you build the life that you want to live, right? So basically, guys, it all comes down to market research. It's quite simple, really. Market research is just figuring out what the lay of the land is, right? It's just, in layman's terms, it's really just like figuring out what the lay of the land is. It's figuring out, okay, what does my competitor have? What is my competitor doing? What is the market doing? What does the market have? What are people liking or not liking about things that are already out there? What are people really craving? What are people requesting? What are people despising? What are people doing or not doing that makes me really want to learn more about this product? It's, again, getting the lay of the land of your competitors, understanding them inside and out, and getting the lay of the land of the market so you know if there are things that you need to sidestep, and you know if there's, strategies that you should completely avoid in your own marketing, in your own niche. And it's also understanding yourself too, how you can position your product in a better way than your competitors or in a more appealing way than your competitors, how you can showcase your value in a more effective way than your competitors, how you can make sure that you present your product in a way that that same audience transitions from paying for your competitor product to your product, to your crowdfunding product. And again, this is all so incredibly important because it sets the foundation for everything else that you do. It sets the foundation for all your advertising, all your journalist outreach, all your landing page visuals and colors, all the types of photography that you do. All the market research does is really gives you information about what people have done before you that have been successful and what people have done before you that has not been so successful. And you can from there pick and choose what you would like to model. And obviously you want to model after successes, right? You don't want to model after things that aren't successful. If you find through your research that one product is doing very poorly in the market, or one product launched on Kickstarter and completely tanked, knowing exactly what they did, knowing exactly what their campaign looks like, knowing exactly what they did in social or outreach, knowing exactly what they did will help you sidestep that failure. It will help you sidestep any mistakes that they did because you know you can foresee that if you do those exact same things, if you take those exact same steps, you won't be a success. And if you look on Indiegogo and you see a campaign that has thousands of backers and tens of thousands of dollars, then try to figure out what they did. Like that is the success that you want to aim for. Figure out what they did and model after them because success leaves clues and market research helps you do exactly that. Pick up those clues and model after them for your own campaign success. That's why I'm so passionate about market research and why I think market research is so incredibly important for people when it comes to crowdfunding. It's because it gives you pretty much all the information you have to know to succeed for a crowdfunding campaign. It tells you exactly what to do and what not to do when it comes to your crowdfunding campaign. And so be sure to not skip market research, guys. This step is really incredibly important, and it's one of the first things I tell people to do. And if people don't do that, I say, hey, let's do this. Let's hit the ground running by doing the research so that we are able to best strategize for a successful launch. So now that we've talked about kind of the why of market research, the importance of it, and how it can help you navigate to a successful campaign, let's talk about the 4 different factors that I really look at when it comes to market research, right? The first thing I look at when it comes to market research is trends. The trends for competitors, the trends for the market, the trends for seasonality. Basically, I take a look at just the wide-ranging trends that we see in the market, in life, in how people use things. For example, if you're launching a new portable air conditioner, for example, if you're launching a portable air conditioner, you're probably going to have more success launching it during summer than during the winter time. Because during the winter time, people are cold already. People don't need an air conditioning unit. And during the summer, people are hot, people are sweaty, people are in their shorts and their tank tops and they're going to the beach and they're just really hot and they're sweaty and they want an ice cream bar to cool off and they want a cold drink to cool off, right? And lo and behold, if you're advertising a portable air conditioning unit during the summer, they're going to be a lot more interested just because of the fact that it's so relevant to them now. There's a seasonality to it. But if you're launching it in the middle of winter when their state is under 10 feet of snow and they have to shovel out snow, they're probably not going to want a portable air conditioning unit. And they're probably not going to want to support the campaign. When I think about trends too, I think about buying trends and also the trends in which products come and go, right? A few years ago, drones were huge. Drones were really big in crowdfunding. There's giant surges of searches for drones. But now it's not as big anymore. Kind of the drone phase has kind of moved on and people aren't really as interested or as intrigued in it as they were like a few years back. Or even when you're thinking about phone cases, there's a huge surge in purchases for phone cases, I believe in November, as people are thinking about buying gifts for loved ones for the holidays and less so throughout the rest of the year. So like there's seasonality and there's trends, and you need to make sure to capture those trends. You need to make sure that you're launching a product at the right time, right? If I'm launching a drone now, there's less people just out looking for it. There's less people interested and excited about it. There's just less people intrigued about it, right? I'm also looking at those seasonality trends. If you want to launch a product that you need to use for summer, don't launch it in the winter, right? Because no one's going to search for it. No one's going to want it. No one's going to be prepared to be like, I really need this, because people just think about the now. Right? They don't think about 5 years ahead or 10 years ahead. They think about now. What do they need now? What do they want now? And so trends is the first thing I always look at when I do the market research. The second thing I like to look at is positioning, because this is so fascinating. Positioning is basically how you label your product in the world, how this product sits in the mind of the backer, how your product is kind of evoked in the minds of backers, right? So for example, if you're working on like a smart cooler or something, right? It can be the world's toughest cooler, or it can be the world's smartest cooler, or it can be the world's only party cooler, right? So there's so many ways to actually position this product in the minds of backers, right? Like, are you going to be selling on the toughness of this product? Are you going to be selling on the fact that this thing is like a party in a box? What is that main thing that you want people to take away from your page and from your campaign after they browse through it? Do you want people to take away that this is the world's toughest iPhone case? Or do you want people to take away that this is the world's most minimalist iPhone case? Like, what is it that you want people to take away from your product and away from your page when they're reading through your materials, when they're watching their video, when they're looking at your content? Because that positioning will really determine if they want it or not, right? That positioning is so important because it helps separate your product from everything else that's on the market. Think about coolers. There's so many coolers out on the market. And there's Orca, there's Yeti, there's I don't know what else. There's like off brands in Walmart, there's off brands in Target. There's so many other ones out there. But what makes one stand out from another? It's the positioning, right? Pelican, they've positioned their product as something that is military tough, right? Military rugged. Like all their marketing materials, all their content is really rugged and militaristic. There's a lot of camo involved in the clothes of people who are actually in their videos, for example. On the other hand, a different like Walmart cooler probably positions themselves as like the world's cheapest cooler, where you can just get something for $5 and you can take out some drinks to the beach on a weekend. Super easy, super simple, but it might break in 2 days, but that's fine. You don't need that. You just want something cheap and for the time being, right? So the way you position your product is so important, and the way that your competitors position their product is so important for you to understand too. Because if you understand how they position their products, you'll understand what people are actually wanting to buy, right? What people actually want and like about the positioning, and how you can position your product to make sure that you're able to capture a certain part of the audience, or make sure that you're able to showcase the additional value that you bring to the table. And that all comes down to the positioning. And that's why it's so important to figure out the positioning of all your other competitors on Amazon, on eBay, on Rakuten, on whatever other stores are online, and even on crowdfunding, on Indiegogo pages, on Kickstarter pages. Use those keywords, type it in, see what everyone else is saying. Those first sentences in bold at the top of the page, that's the key positioning. How are they positioning their product on like a e-commerce website? Those first few words that you see on the landing page, that's how they're positioning their product and their brand. How are they doing that? And what is enticing about it? And why do people want to buy into it? How can you do the same, or how can you do better than that, right? And that's all market research. The third thing that I really look at when it comes to market research is the pricing. Pricing is so important, and there's a ton of research into the psychology of pricing. But what we're just going to talk about is pretty simple. What we're going to talk about is basically like, are you pricing in the right range, right? Are you pricing fairly and adequately for your product category? So for example, if you're selling wireless headphones, right? If you're selling wireless headphones and you see that every single wireless headphone is priced between the $100 to $300 price range. Every single one on the market, every single one that you're finding, all the other competitors with the same types of features, the same types of offerings. If you're seeing that that's what everyone is pricing and everyone is comfortable, and you see that everyone is comfortable buying in that price range, you're probably not going to price your product at $1,000, right? If you are, something's probably wrong with your cost structure. You're probably sourcing materials that are way too expensive, or you're sourcing materials or you're finding fulfillment partners or manufacturing partners that are just way too expensive to make this product feasible if you have the similar features as everyone else on the market. However, if you're able to add that much value to your product to make a $100 to $300 product priced at $1,000, if you're able to do that, you have to be able to say, okay, this is what my competitors have. This is why they're priced at $100 to $300. And this is what I have. And this is why I'm priced at $1,000. And that's all from market research. Knowing the features, the offerings, the benefits of your competitors and their price point, and being able to justify your price point or match the price point, right, that people are comfortable with, is your key to success. Or else if you're saying, hey, I have the exact same features as everyone else on the market, but I'm priced 3 times more than everyone else, no one's going to buy the product. But if you do the market research, you'll know exactly what people are looking for, and you'll know exactly what people like, what people don't like, and maybe you're adding some additional feature that people love. So that's pricing. The last thing I want to talk about is the visuals. The visuals are so important, guys. The visuals make or break a campaign because visuals create trust. Visuals create credibility for a campaign. Imagine going to a website on your phone and you're seeing like all these kind of gaudy 90s style design and a website that's not even mobile optimized, and it's just like the desktop just like shrunk down to a mobile phone. Like, you already lose trust, right? There's not good design. There's not good design aesthetic. It doesn't seem like you put in effort or time or anything into creating that site, creating that experience. So people won't trust you. People won't trust that you're doing something that will actually deliver. So when it comes to visuals, I encourage you to look at everything else that your competitors are doing. What types of images are they taking? What lifestyle images are they taking? Where is the location of their lifestyle images? Their product images? What angles are they taking the images at? What types of style or design are these images coming at? Like, what's their video look like? What types of music are they using? What types of GIFs are they using to explain their features, to explain their benefits? Basically, look at everything that your eyes can see and look at everything that helps to understand the product from a visual perspective, because that will leave clues, right? When you look at the most successful campaigns and you look at the most successful products in your niche, in your category, there'll be patterns. They'll show patterns of success. For example, if you look at Adidas, you look at Nike, you look at all these brands that sell clothes, right? Sell leggings. If you look at their product page for leggings, they're all the same. It's going to be product on person. And if you click in, you'll see product on person, left view, back view, side view. So their sizing chart and their color palette. So there's all these different things that already are there because people want it, people love it, people demand it. And it's all the visual stuff that you can see common across all these successful brands. And this happens in every single niche. It happens in every single type of product, right? No matter what you're launching, there's a core visual element to it. For example, if you're doing something with the medical realm, right? Most hospital logos have like a green color to it, right? It signifies health and vitality. No one's going to use red or bright red because it looks like blood, right? No one wants to think of blood and death when they think of hospitals. They want to think of health and healing and vitality. And so if you're researching hospital logos, you'll see that there's a lot of green in it rather than red. So little things like that help to really build your brand and define your own value in comparison to your competitors. You have to know exactly what they're doing, what people are demanding, and to do that, you have to make sure you're looking at all your competitors and all their visuals and seeing what's common, what pops up a lot, what happens a lot, and making sure that you're extracting and modeling after those successful elements and making sure that you're including that into your campaign too. And being able to showcase that additional value by knowing everything else that's out there. And so those are the 4 different things to look for when doing market research. Again, I can't emphasize enough how important market research is, and I hope that this has really gotten you to understand just how incredibly crucial market research is to the success of a campaign. It's really just understanding the lay of the land and understanding where the path is to success, because success leaves clues. And to get those clues, to get access to those clues, to be able to use it, it's through market research, through finding out these clues and picking them up and actually being able to use them. So thank you for being with me here today. If you need a crowdfunding expert, feel free to get in touch. You can get started by heading to crushcrowdfunding.com. Lastly, I would be really grateful if you could leave a review for the podcast, because it will really help others who want to learn about crowdfunding just more easily find out about the podcast. Thank you so much for being here with me and for subscribing to the podcast and for continuing to listen and just being here with me to go on this journey to crowdfund your product and your idea. I will see you guys in the next session. Thanks for listening to the Crush Crowdfunding podcast at crushcrowdfunding.com. Tune in the same time next week for more ways to crush your launch.